Hello, my name is Wanda Wayne, and I guess you could call me the gardener. I take care of the greenhouses here at Arnoldsburg Elementary School. And in the past, we've worked with the kids growing food in the greenhouses. But since we've had the COVID virus, we haven't been able to do that this fall. But you'll see in the background the school, and I just want to take you on a little tour. So we have two greenhouses, and this is our first one. And you can see these plants we just set out. We started them here this fall. Usually the kids do, but because of the COVID virus, I and some of my helpers went ahead and got these little plants started. And they're probably 10 days old after we set them out, and they've tripled in size. And this is lettuce. It's a special kind of lettuce. I'll get close, and it's called freckle lettuce. And you'll see those red spots. And probably within 2 weeks, we'll be serving this in the cafeteria for the kids. These ones have changed. They're a little different color. These are romaine lettuce. And as we walk on up here, let's look on this side over here. We have more romaine, and then in the back you'll see a special little plant. It's called bok choy. It's a Chinese cabbage. We chop all these up and add it to iceberg lettuce, and it makes a wonderful salad. And here's some red kale. And this green leafy stuff here, these are green radishes, a special radish that I planted, and they're just about ready to pull up. These are baby onions we planted from seed, and we have a few that we have from bulbs. If you look over here, we still have plenty of tomatoes left. Actually, it's cooled down and they're doing much better. They're coming back to life, and they will grow probably until at least mid-November. You can see we have tomatoes right here. And over in this bed, we have more bok choy. And then we have kale and spinach. These are all called cold crops. They do so much better in the cool weather. They taste much better. So we'll be harvesting all of these every Monday. We pick these and cut them up, and the cooks give them to the kids in a fresh garden salad. These are more bok choy. So this is our first greenhouse. Now we are outside in the outside garden, and these things here on the end, most everything we pulled up because it's going to frost probably tomorrow. But this is herbs. This is sage, and you'll see that purpley green. That is basil. And you'll see the pretty green parsley down here, and some more basil. The basil is really good. You can dry it, but you can also, it's really good as a pollinator. It attracts a lot of bugs. And over here we have dill, more sage, more basil. And in here hiding is a nasturtium. And those are really good to put in your salad. You can eat the leaves and the flowers. And here we have some more parsley growing, curly parsley they call it. More parsley. So this is like our herb bed. Here is another bed. It's got onions, nasturtiums, more of that purple basil, and we love that. It smells good, and you can see all the little bugs flying around it. It's a pollinator. It helps us pollinate our crops. And over here is tomatoes that aren't going to make it. We left them growing, maybe hoping that we might. I see one little green tomato over there. But these are Mr. Stripies that someone gave us and we planted them late. This was where our pumpkins were planted, and since those are all pulled up, and in the corners we planted these zinnias, and hoping that they would attract, because they are, I see a bee right here. Let's see if we can see that. Oh, he's flying away. We did that deliberately to attract bees to pollinate our pumpkins. And over here is our last little garden. This is turnips. And we have some lima beans. Probably won't last much longer. But here's some turnips. Turnips are another, let's see if we can see one. Not really. But that's another cold weather crop that does really well in the cool weather. If you notice, we've put paper on our beds. And underneath we put newspaper, and we take shredded paper that's left over that the school shreds, and we put that on here for two reasons. It breaks down and enriches your soil, plus it inhibits weeds from growing. So that way, by spring, this will all be broke down and you can till it back into the soil and you won't have a lot of weeds. The other beds have black plastic, and that's really just to keep the weeds. You'll notice these have paper, shredded paper, and some has even straw. If we had any straw left over, that's what we used, and the shredded paper. This bed is where we had potatoes planted, and I happen to have a dill growing, and I just left it grow. And I noticed we must have missed a few little potatoes because they're popping up through the paper. Right there's one. There's one. And then at the end there, we have more dill popping up. These are Canada lilies that evidently got tossed into our compost pile. And they popped up and they're so beautiful, we just let them grow. Now, we've looked at the vegetable garden and the greenhouse. Now, this is the flower gardens. And this plant right here is another purple basil. Beautiful. You can just see it smells wonderful. You can dry the leaves to make a seasoning. And it also attracts lots of little bugs. So this is kind of like a pollinator. This is actually like a butterfly garden. Zinnias attract butterflies, monarchs especially. And we had some wandering Jew. Put it down here and it just is growing everywhere. This is a chrysanthemum, or we call them mums. And this was one from last year's display that got tossed in the compost, and I dug it out. And look at it. It's double the size it was last year. These are all our beautiful flowers. These are mostly zinnias. I love this. Here's a little forget-me-not that we planted in memory of someone who had passed away. Some more of the beautiful flowers. And these little flowers down here, the ground cover is called lemon drops. Can you see it looks like little lemon drop candy? So we're going to walk around here. Here is another one of the mums that I planted, that I rescued out of the compost pile, and here's another one. They're so pretty. And there's our butterfly bush. And we also have some other plants in here that really attract bugs. So I call this the butterfly garden, or something that will attract pollinators to attract to pollinate our gardens out there. So this is a view from the front of the school, looking down. And one of our NCOA workers did this little display here, Ted and Myrtle, 2 of them. And you can see that we have 2 greenhouses, the outside community garden, and I see my butterfly garden. It's beautiful. This is some jumbo garlic that someone had gave me, and I'm going to the greenhouse and plant this. And I will show you a video out there in the greenhouse. I am out in the greenhouse now, and you can see I've dug some holes. This is the time of the year that you plant your garlic, and this particular kind is called jumbo garlic. And I have one here to show you. The roots are coming from on the bottom there, if you can see those, but you want to plant them into the ground so that the roots will go down and the pointy part will grow up tall. And by next summer, we'll be able to harvest this, and it will be really, really big.